Hello, and welcome to the Acumatica 2021 Release 2 launch. I'm here at Sneaky Big Studios in Scottsdale, Arizona, who together with Acumatica customer PXG Golf are going to play an important role in today's launch event, and you're going to hear more about them later. But to start off with, I'm exactly where I want to be, surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of Acumatica customers. Because at Acumatica, we know if we put the customers at the center of what we do, everything else will take care of itself. Now, if you're new to Acumatica, you should know that we were founded in 2008 with the sole purpose of delivering the best business application solution in the world for small and mid-sized businesses. And we do that anchored in three main pillars. Number one, technology leadership. And not just technology for technology's sake, but technology that can be applied in real-world business problems pragmatically. Things like accelerating productivity, improving operational excellence. Then on top of that technology platform, we deliver best-in-class business functionality. Obviously things like financials, but also going out into modules like customer relationship management or field service management. And then over the last 5 years, we've been delivering industry-leading industry editions. Industry editions like retail commerce, manufacturing, distribution, and construction edition. These industry editions allow us to deliver an even more tailored offering for customers that exist inside those industries. We wrap all of that with a maniacal focus on customer success, because we know if we do the right thing for customers and get them live and happy, they'll tell their friends, they'll tell their colleagues. So all of this is accumulated to the point where Acumatica is now the number one fastest growing business application provider in the industry globally. Number one. And not just for the last year, but for the last 8 years. And perhaps more importantly, we are also the leader in customer satisfaction. Whether you measure that with G2 or Gartner measurements or some of the others out there, Acumatica is number one in customer satisfaction everywhere. Now, Acumatica was founded around the notion of digital transformation, taking old, what we would call analog businesses, disconnected systems, siloed data sets, and bringing them together to operate in one unified system that is running up in the cloud, delivering you a fantastic business experience and letting you take your business from being backwards looking to being forward looking. But we now realize we need to do even more than that. Now, in the last year, it's not just been about digital transformation, but it's been about other ways we're being impacted. We've had to learn to expect the unexpected. Whether it's the power line freeze in Texas, whether it's the fires going on the West Coast, or the hurricane that we just experienced in the last month. We don't know what is going to happen next, but the key is to have a set of systems that will allow you not just to run through those, but to be able to capitalize and thrive and accelerate. And so we've introduced this notion of digital resiliency around Acumatica. And what that means is we are doing an incredible job of delivering uptime. So your systems in the cloud are running no matter what's going on in the world, and you're able to access them from wherever you are. The second component is security. And today, in a world of malware, ransomware, it's more important than ever that you're running on a platform that can deliver extremely high levels of security for your business. But then we want to go even beyond that and be able to do all of that in an extremely sustainable manner that's good for business and good for the environment. Now, success breeds success. And I'm so excited about the hundreds of Acumatica ISV partners who've come in and filled out the solution in many different directions over the last several years. These ISVs, combined with the Acumatica VARs, hundreds and hundreds of value-added reseller organizations that deliver the Acumatica solution to the end customers. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Acumatica is a technology company, and we are constantly advancing. And we deliver those advances in 2 biannual releases. And those releases have become a highly anticipated event within the Acumatica community. Our community gets excited about it, we get excited about it. And so with that, I'm pleased to be able to formally introduce Acumatica 2021 Release 2. And I'm going to hand you over to my colleague and Chief Strategy Officer, Ajoy, to learn more about the release.
Thank you, John. It's great to be here at the 2021R2 launch. You've all heard about digital transformation, how it's a journey and not a destination. Business applications are a critical part of the journey. These business applications not only have to fit the needs of your organization today, but have to continue to evolve and meet the needs of your organization for the future as you grow and accelerate. And that's our commitment from Acumatica to you. With rapid innovation and 2 releases every year, we bring new capabilities into market. Lots of exciting things happening with technology. At the infrastructure level, at the data layer, with machine learning and AI, and in user interface and user experience. We are constantly evaluating these technology and bringing these capabilities into our platform, which is an award-winning platform we call Cloud XRP. And this platform powers the core modules that we have, the industry editions, and offering first-class experience from our web application and from the mobile app. With R1, we have 3 major themes. The first one is seamless personalization. So whether you're a new user of Acumatica or an advanced user of Acumatica, you're going to find some new capabilities that's valuable to you. With our smart navigation feature, or the ability to sort tables within our dashboard. Simple enhancement, but it's going to benefit you a lot. And then for those technical power users out there, we're excited to announce the availability of DAX Schema Browser. And you'll see some of these capabilities in action later today. The second theme for the R2 release is our core modules. I want to start with financials. Financials is used by all of our customers. We continue to add more features and capabilities into this product with enhancements to our accounts receivables area, with our bank reconciliation, where you can handle transactions with multiple receipts. And with R2, now we have multiple base currency support. Next, CRM. You can't overstate the importance of having CRM and ERP in the same platform. Our customers appreciate having the ability to track a lead into an opportunity and manage the experience for our customers once they become the customer of your organization. Today, we're going to show an example of how we are enhancing that capability with our integration to SendGrid. Well, talking about integration, that's our third theme for R2, which is about our open API platform that powers all of the seamless integration we have with third-party services that are important for your organization. And those things differ based on which industry you are in. You're going to see later today the work we are doing with Microsoft Teams, enabling collaboration from within Acumatica, and the capability to annotate PDF documents without leaving Acumatica as well. The last piece is payroll. We launched payroll last year in 2020, and we've been working with hundreds of customers since we released payroll, and we brought in new capabilities into the product for all industries, including support for shift code, pay group security, and more. We've also focused on performance with payroll in many areas like batch processing, calculations. We have seen 2 to 3x improvements in the performance. The last thing I want to talk about is the industry editions. We've got capabilities coming for all of these editions, starting with the cross-sell, upsell, and substitution, within distribution, enhancements to integrations with the Shopify and BigCommerce platform in our Commerce edition, the work we're doing with CFMA to bring the benchmarker and the KPIs within Acumatica so you can have a view of how you're performing against your peer group, whether you're a general contractor or a specialty trade contractor and so on. And then with our manufacturing edition, excited to announce that we have capable to promise in R2 along with visual scheduling. Rather than me talking about it, we want to take a look at these capabilities in action. To do just that, I want to welcome Doug and Jessica.
Thank you, Ajoy. We're looking forward to showing you some of the new features in 21 Release 2 today. We're going to start off by showing you how we've been focused on helping your company make more money by the integrated CRM and ERP package that we provide. In the era of digital transformation, an integrated CRM and ERP is important, and that's because upsell opportunities are always available. An integrated CRM and ERP helps you with upselling, it helps you build campaigns from those upsells, and it helps your back-end operations support team have the complete information available to them when customers call in with issues about shipments and other things. So we'll be taking you through some scenarios that show how you can take advantage of integrated CRM to maximize your revenue using Acumatica 21 Release 2. Jessica, take it away.
Thank you, Doug. To demonstrate this scenario today, we are going to assume that we work for a sporting goods company. And in particular, we sell golfing equipment. We'll call ourselves Sure Bet Sporting Goods. What we're going to do is we're going to act as a product manager, and we will use this brand new functionality from Acumatica R2 to add cross-sell, upsell, and substitution items. On the stock item record for a golf club driver, this is our standard driver. I can click on the Related Items tab, and you can see items that are related to this standard driver. We have a cross-sell available, which is golf tees. Any person that is purchasing this driver could be offered those golf tees as a cross-sell. There's also a substitute here for the driver. In case this inventory is going to be depleted, we can offer up a substitute for an alternate item. Now, there have recently been some enhancements to our driver technology. So we are offering a premium driver that allows our customers to drive the ball even further. As a product manager, I'm going to add this upsell to the stock item record for the premium driver. So this way, anytime we sell one of the standard drivers, the sales rep will be given a visual indication that there is an upsell available for them. Let's take a look at how this works from the sales rep side. We will assume that we get a brand new order for our standard driver. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new sales order here. I will drop in the customer that we have on the line who is interested in ordering our standard driver, and I will get this added as a line item. Now, as soon as I do that, the sales rep is going to get a visual indication that there are related items that we could offer up to this customer if we would like to. So I'm going to click on that related items icon, and I immediately see what else is available to help this sales rep drive more sales and to provide a great experience for this customer. Of course, any good sales rep starts with an upsell. So I'll check out which items are available as an upsell option. We know that because the product manager just added the premium driver, we do see that the standard driver has an upgrade to this premium driver, and we can ask the customer if they're interested, to which of course they say yes. As we do that, we see that that standard driver is taken off of the order, the premium driver is swapped in, and we have now increased sales for our organization through the help of Acumatica. But we aren't done selling yet. I'm also going to generate a cross-sell for this particular sales order. So I can ask our customer, because you're purchasing a driver, are you interested in getting some golf tees to accompany that? To which, of course, they say absolutely. At this point, we have added a cross-sell for the premium driver, an upsell for the premium driver, a cross-sell for the golf tees, and we have provided a great experience to our customer as we did this. Now, because we have this premium driver available, we want to be able to understand which customers have purchased the standard driver from us so that we can market to those customers and offer up this new technology. So let's see how our marketing team can benefit from this new functionality in Acumatica R2 as well. Over to Doug on the marketing side.
Thanks, Jessica. Our sales team's hard at work over there, but my job as the marketing manager is to generate leads to support them. Now, in addition to what Jessica showed you, our commerce integration is making all the upsell, cross-sell opportunities she showed you available on our commerce site. So I can get leads and opportunities and upsells from my website as well as from people that call in. Now, in order to help be more proactive, I'm going to generate a marketing list. Acumatica lets you create dynamic lists. With ERP integrated with CRM, I can generate this list that you see here based on past sales of golf club drivers that may be eligible for an upgrade. I can then, once this list has been created, create a mass email. I'll grab this one that's prepared already. And this particular email is designed to go out and help customers upgrade by giving them reasons to do so. Now, using a new integration with SendGrid, I'll be able to communicate information to my sales team, specifically who's opened this email, who's clicked it, and if they need be, I can manage my email campaigns to see which ones do better under which circumstances. With this one's ready to go, so I'm going to hit send. The system tells me how many emails are going to be generated, and I hit yes. And now the emails are ready to go and be sent out. So now that we've sent out our emails, it's also worth noting that in the base of the email, there'll be an opt-out link. SendGrid handles all the opt-outs and other information so that you can get that without having to pre-program it into Acumatica. Now, Jessica has received her email, and maybe she opened it or maybe she didn't. The important part is that I get up-to-the-minute statistics here about my open rates and email click rates, so that as people go in and do these types of things, I get up-to-the-minute results so I can manage my campaigns more effectively. Now, as a marketing manager, I know my sales team's still at work, fulfilling orders, keeping an eye, and keeping customers happy. So Jessica, have you heard from a customer yet?
Well, because our marketing team is sending out all of these great nurture campaigns, we have generated a number of inbound orders as a result. Unfortunately, one of the customers reports that their order was damaged. So as a sales rep that provides great customer service to my customers, I'm going to enter a new case to make sure that we can correct this damaged shipment for a customer that is very important to us. To do that, directly from my dashboard, I will use a brand new link tile to create a new case. On my case, I will add the contact of the individual I have on the phone, which is Amelia. Amelia Armstrong communicated that her shipment was damaged, so I'll go ahead and type that into our details, and I will save this case. I can also note which sales order perhaps it was related to, but I'm also going to assign this case as a high priority. As I mentioned, this is a customer that has been loyal to us for a very long time, so we want to ensure that they get the fastest resolution to their issue. Now, you'll notice on the right-hand side of my screen that we have added brand new functionality in Acumatica R2 to support integrations with Adobe PDF Annotator. What that means is I can attach a file. In this case, I'm going to attach a PDF of the golf driver schematic that we've been working with that happened to be damaged in this particular shipment. As I drag and drop that file into the record, I can click on my side panel, and with the integration with Adobe, we're able to annotate this PDF. I can see all of the different pieces of the driver, and Amelia reported that it was section 17 of her driver that was damaged, so I will make note of that. I can add text, I can add highlights, I can add drawings here if necessary, all directly within Acumatica. Now at this point, because we have added the PDF file to the case to indicate where the damage is, we've assigned the case as a high priority. All we need to do is make sure that this gets assigned to the correct individual for follow-up. To do that, I will apply assignment rules. These are automated rules based on the different details of the case that allow it to be assigned to the appropriate individual, which in this case is Regina Wiley. Let's take a look at how our support team can interact and follow up on this. Doug, over to you.
Here I am as a support manager, and I'm monitoring high priority cases that come in on my dashboard. I can see here I've got one about a damaged shipment. So I'm going to click here on the case ID and open that up. Now I notice, as Jessica mentioned, the case has been assigned to Regina Wiley. And using our new Microsoft Teams integration, I'm excited because I can immediately contact Regina and tell her to expedite this case using this Teams icon. When I click here, notice that I can do a bunch of things. I can create a chat, I can call her directly or schedule a meeting. In this case, I'm going to schedule a chat with her. When I click that button, it automatically opens my Teams application and I can type away. I tell her to look at this important case and send her the text. Now, Regina's probably scratching her head going, what important case is this guy talking about? Well, to make that process a little bit easier, notice there's an Acumatica button that appears down here. I can go ahead and click on that, and I can search for anything, opportunities, cases, and other objects in this search bar. As I search for those things, it will pull up a list, and I can click on it, and all the information immediately gets populated, as you can see here. Now Regina knows exactly what case I'm talking about. So Jessica, I think you're going to fill in as Regina today, right?
Yes, I am. As you can see within my Teams application, which is helping me communicate and collaborate with my team throughout the course of the day, I have received a new chat from my boss indicating that there is an important case to follow up on. I have a link directly to that case, which I will click, takes me into Acumatica, where you can see the power of this integration with Microsoft Teams. Thanks to the power of this integration with Microsoft Teams, Acumatica customers can now more effectively collaborate with their customers and internal and external stakeholders. This concludes Demo 1 portion, where this was all about increasing sales and providing the best customer experience possible. What we're going to do next is we're going to hear from an Acumatica customer about how they're using Acumatica in their day-to-day operations. Let's hand it over to Sean, who's sitting with PXG.
I'm delighted to be here with Nick Janke and Nikki Nielsen from PXG Parsons Extreme Golf. PXG is a research and innovation company focused on developing high-performance golf equipment and sport fashion. PXG has experienced astronomical growth since it was founded just a few years ago. Nick, we would love to speak with you briefly about the origin of your company.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having us. You know, when Mr. Parsons founded PXG in 2014, it was on a relatively simple premise. If you started as a research company with the only goal being to take off all of the constraints, be it time, budget, materials, to really just release innovation and make it the best possible product that we can. You know, our engineering team has done an incredible job really pushing the limits of what people thought golf equipment could do. But what's so unique about our company is that we carry that forward into the consumer experience. So we know the product is exceptional, but we get to work with you on a one-on-one basis. There isn't anything stock from our company. Everything that we do is 100% tailored to your needs. So whether you're working with our mobile fitting team in a retail store, our player support team, or through the internet, it's 100% customized to what you want and what you're looking to achieve out of your game with your equipment. And what we offer, from equipment to apparel to accessories, really all carry forward that same innovation and really separate the experience that you get to have with us as a PXG customer.
That's great, Nick. I mean, it's amazing how much PXG has accomplished in such a short time frame and has become a global brand today.
Absolutely.
So, Nikki, you're the director of supply chain at PXG, and you've been involved very intimately with Acumatica from the very beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about how the solution has changed over the years?
As our business continues to grow and we evolve, so does our needs inside of Acumatica. For example, the kit functionality used to be great when we had fewer, less complex SKUs, but as we continue to grow and we're not just putting a silk screen logo on a sweatshirt anymore, our needs have significantly changed to be more robust.
Nice. So for those of our audience who are not familiar with kits, it's just a way for us to put inventory together in a basket and have some very simple workflows around it. Nikki, you're planning to move into the manufacturing module. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So we are planning on moving to the manufacturing module in a couple weeks. This is going to give us the ability to be able to track our fabrics, linings, trims, everything that actually goes into manufacturing the product itself from a vendor level and on a SKU usage level.
Thank you. That's great. Can you tell me a little bit about the manufacturing process involved with this jacket?
So it all starts with the creation of a work order, getting it sent out to all the different vendors who are supplying, the zippers, the snaps, the fabric, lining, and actually getting it over to the mill house to sew the final product so we can bring it in as a complete finished good. The manufacturing module allows us to do that.
That is awesome. So in 2 weeks, Nikki, you will be moving on to the Acumatica Manufacturing Edition. What are the main benefits that you're looking to get out of the system?
So the main benefits are the ability to track everything at a much more granular level. So our fabric usage, waste, and being able to hold our vendors accountable.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you so much, Nick. It's just absolutely fantastic to hear from both of you. Really appreciate you coming down and spending some time with us. And now it's time to go back to the second half of the demo with Jessica and Doug.
It's really great to see Acumatica customers taking advantage of all the features that we've introduced into the application to improve the way that they do business in the era of globalization. And now we're going to show you some more interesting features that are coming in 21 Release 2. Right now we're going to focus in on some of the things we've been doing in the platform as well as with globalization. Acumatica has been making great strides with making low-code, no-code part of the standard operating procedure when it comes to matching workflows. And in terms of globalization, we've introduced even more features to make it possible for companies to do business cross-border. In the example that we're going to be doing today on this demonstration, you'll see here that I have two companies. Jessica is going to be in my Canadian company, and I'm going to be here in the U.S. The Canadian company is going to be purchasing goods from the manufacturer in the U.S., and the cross-company sales operation is going to automatically create sales orders, purchase receipts, and AP bills so that the paperwork is done behind the scenes. Companies need the paperwork, but they don't need the paper and the hassle. Acumatica is going to handle it all automatically. So Jessica, why don't you get us started off on our scenario here?
Thank you, Doug. To begin this intercompany and multi-currency scenario, I am going to be a purchasing manager operating in a Canadian entity. We have a sister company in the US, so we will go out and generate a purchase order to bring in inventory from our sister company. On my purchase order, you can see that I have my vendor here, which is our US sister company or the retail company. You can also see that I've added my line item, and we are expecting to receive this in to the Toronto warehouse. Also note that this order is in Canadian dollars, so Acumatica can now support operating in multiple base currencies in different companies. Now, what I'm going to do is help my sister company out by actually going through the process of taking this order off of hold. We'll send it along through an approval, but we're actually going to generate the sales order for our sister company to perform that intercompany work. So all I have to do is generate the sales order, and Acumatica does the work for me. We're now going through the process of creating that SO, or the sales order, in the US entity. So let's take a look at what our US company receives on their side. Doug?
I've now switched hats and I'm being a shipping clerk in the US. In my orders to ship, I see that in my dashboard I have an order here for my Canadian partner. I'll go ahead and open up this order, and you can see it's a standard shipping process that I need to follow. I'll go ahead and create a shipment. Notice that it's in Canadian dollars, so this is a little bit different. After I create the shipment, I'm going to go ahead and confirm it, and then I'm going to go ahead and send it over to accounting to prepare an invoice. And once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and release the invoice. You'll notice that we have these new timers and taskbars over here giving me a status of how the operation is going. So now in the US company, I've done my shipping. The next thing I need to do is I've created an invoice. But wouldn't it be easy if, since I created the invoice, I could automatically create a bill in the sister company or the related company that I'm doing business with? So I'm going to go over here to the Generate Intercompany Documents screen, and I'm going to pick my Canadian entity. I'm going to go ahead and process that and automatically create the invoice for Jessica so that she's ready to do that after she receives the goods. Jessica, it's all set on my end. Take it over.
Thank you, Doug. So over in the Canadian entity, we're going to go through the process of actually bringing that receipt in, and as Doug said, creating the associated bill. Now, these generate intercompany document screens are completely automatic. In other words, you can put them on a schedule, and this is all happening behind the scenes for you. I am simply going to actually go through the process of generating this receipt. And we're ready to bring those goods into the warehouse. So to do that, I will take you over to my receiving clerk dashboard. And of course, we know that we do have a PO receipt awaiting to be brought into our Toronto warehouse. Here I have my purchase order, number 1592. And at this point, we are going to enter that PO receipt into the system. And now really the final step in our process is just making sure that that bill gets confirmed for payment. So over in my bills and adjustments, you can see that the bill, again, has already been generated automatically. No need for me to do the behind the scenes accounting work to make sure that our intercompany transactions and journal entries are being created appropriately. So at this point, we've done an intercompany transaction between Canada and the US. And of course, there's a lot of behind the scenes reporting taking place as well that Acumatica can provide to all of our customers to give you insight into these types of operations. Let's send it over to accounting so we can take a look at the culmination of this example.
Over in accounting, we'll be able to run reports now, profit and loss and balance sheets and anything else using the financial report writer. Now, one thing that's a lot different about this report than you've seen in the past, we have a mix of currencies up top. We have Canada and Canadian dollars and US dollars, and we have the US companies as well. The benefit of having different base currencies in the same tenant is that now I can get these reports and drill down into the details in real time. You didn't used to be able to do that. The other thing that's nice about having these related entities in the same tenant is that the same customers, vendors can be utilized. You don't have to enter the data in two separate tenants. In addition, inventory items are just another example of things that makes it much easier to use. My balance sheet is very similar to the profit and loss report. I can get a balance sheet that shows things in US dollars, my base currency and the company that I'm in. And then you can see how things are in Canadian dollars as well if you want to drill down to the details in real time. Now, in addition to multiple base currencies, we have another exciting feature to announce, and that is that the Canadian localization is now part of the core product. Acumatica is working on localizations so that we can go ahead and introduce Acumatica into different markets. We'll be looking forward to new ones, UK, Mexico, and others will be coming on board soon as we build out more and more localizations. So we've covered a lot of the globalization features. Now let's talk about some of the platform features that we've introduced in 21 Release 2. One of the most important things is the new visual workflow engine. What I'm showing on my screen is a purchase receipt workflow. The visual workflow engine makes it easy to make low-code, no-code customization so businesses can run their business exactly as it needs to be run without coding. This is the standard workflow that you see, but we're going to go ahead and go to a site where we're going to change that. So you'll see I have a customization project here where I've included my screen, the purchase receipts. So I'm going to open up my customization for adding an inspection step. In my diagram view, you can see what this looks like. So if I move this a little out of the way, you'll see that now I can inspect my purchase receipt and I can either fail it or pass it. Based on failing or passing, these states can have a transition to a different state. If I fail it, let's say I want to put it back on hold to resolve the issue, or if I drag and drop this, I can even go to a balance state to resolve the issue. All this is done very visually and very easily without having to write any code. All this information is part of the new visual workflow engine that is an important part of 21 Release 2. So now that I've got this all configured, Jessica, why don't you show how it actually works in this software itself?
Thank you, Doug. So we are going to demonstrate the exact workflow that Doug just provided an example of using the workflow engine. Instead of the standard receipt workflow, we are going to have the step to actually perform an inspection here. So you can see that on my purchase receipt record, of course, I have my line item added at the bottom, but we have the option to click the inspect button to actually move forward with this inspection. Now you'll see based on that workflow that there are two options, of course, a fail or a pass. Unfortunately, this particular inspection failed. So as we click on that fail button, notice as part of the workflow that the status moves into this brand new status of failed. This is part of the workflow that Doug just showed us. Now, beyond this, we've also added in Acumatica 2021R2 the ability to generate CRM tasks based on business events. So in other words, when something occurs in the system, we can create a task as a result of that. In our example, anytime an inspection fails, we need a quality manager to follow up and make sure that that gets corrected. So I'll do a quick refresh on my screen and notice that I have an activity appearing. This is the task that we just created as a result of this receipt moving into that failed status. And here you can see the task being assigned to the appropriate person, in our case, the quality manager, to make sure that that shipment gets resolved. Now, of course, if we do end up getting the shipment resolved, I can use the same workflow that Doug showed you to actually put this on hold, go back through the process, and make sure that we pass this inspection. But this gives you great insight as to how the changes that we make in the visual workflow engine apply to an Acumatica environment such as this. This wraps up this section on the workflow engine. We are going to take a look at some more platform enhancements. So to do that, I'll hand it back over to Doug to keep us going.
Very good. Thank you, Jessica. Generic inquiries are an important part of Acumatica. They're used to generate notifications. They're used to power dashboards. They set up pivot tables, and they do the thing that Jessica just showed, which was they key off notifications. So creating generic inquiries and making that easier is very important. One of the things that we've done in the past is that we've added this button called Add Related Table. So I'm going to show how that would be working in this scenario that we just did. So this is the generic inquiry that powers the failed inspections. I'm going to click on this receipt line. And the scenario is, instead of just creating a task for our CRM folks in CRM for the folks internally, we want to see if some customer is waiting on this item that failed inspection. But in order to do that, we need information about the customer. So I'm going to click Add Related Table. And I'm going to look for an area where I can find the sales order. That's where all my customer information is. Click it and add the related table. You'll see all this confusing stuff right here is something that the system handles behind the scenes. My table can be added to my generic inquiry, and all the relationships and difficult part of that is managed in the back end. Now I can go add the customer to my results grid and make him part of an email chain that would go out, or an SMS notification or any other type that would notify him that one of his orders may be delayed due to a failed inspection coming from the provider. Now, one of the other things that's interesting for advanced users is that on this particular, what we call data access class, I can click on this hyperlink. This hyperlink brings me to the DAC schema browser. The DAC schema browser tells me things about the primary keys, incoming, outgoing references, and it shows the different relationships between all my data access classes within my system. Once again, not something you need to worry about if you're the average user, but if you're a power user, this is something that's very good for making things like more complex queries and figuring out what you can and cannot do inside Acumatica. Jessica, I'm going to hand it back to you for some of the improvements we've been making to AP bill automation.
So to wrap up this platform section, we have one final exciting enhancement around our AP document recognition. This was a feature that came out in an earlier release, but we heard your feedback, we listened, and we added these brand new enhancements to our AP document recognition. Now, for those of you that are not aware, Acumatica uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to perform the process of recognizing the text, images, and content in any PDF and can actually convert that into an AP bill. So what I'm going to do on my incoming documents screen is I'm going to drag a bill into our documents. So here we have an invoice from one of our vendors, which I will drop into this screen, and we will begin the process of recognition. Now, the first enhancement of this release has to do with speed. We heard your feedback on the speed of this particular functionality, and we were able to greatly enhance the speed of recognition taking place with our artificial intelligence and machine learning system. Now, what we're going to do is recognize all of the fields on this particular bill, and you can see that Acumatica picks up all of that information for you. So there is no need to key this information in line by line. There is no need to be emailing yourself these documents. We are performing the process of creating these AP bills for you. So here you can see directly on my invoice that we've recognized the vendor, And this is coming from an image. So Acumatica can even recognize a vendor logo, for example, drop that into the vendor record or business account here. And we can also do that with email addresses. So if you're using AP recognition in conjunction with your Outlook plugin, we can actually recognize a vendor's email and tag that to their vendor record as well. And we can even take it one step further and we can eliminate domains like Gmail, for example. Beyond that, we've also added the ability to work with multi-page invoices. So you can see if I scroll down, this is not a one-page document. There's actually multiple pages here and many lines added. I can review these lines as necessary, but I can see that Acumatica picked up everything on this particular invoice. And the final piece to note for those of you interested is we have also added mapping options here to modify your columns as it appears in this recognition screen if necessary. Acumatica is very proud to deliver artificial intelligence and machine learning functionality to all of our customers, and this AP document recognition is now available in Acumatica 21R2 for all of you to take advantage of. This concludes our second set of demos in today's R1 launch, but we have only scratched the surface of the hundreds of features that are available for all of our Acumatica customers and partners. If you're interested in seeing even more of these features, please join us in one of our industry deep dive sessions, which is taking place after the main event. We're going to wrap up these demos, and John, send it over to you to close us off today.
Thanks, Doug and Jessica. Those were some amazing demos as usual. And it's so great to see 2021 R2 in action. We had some great content here today, and we've seen some really cool stuff, including this incredible set. So where are we? Well, it's not a regular stage or studio. In fact, this is a virtual reality set. And here to tell us more about it is Marianne Gunther. Marianne is the CEO of Sneaky Big Studios here in Scottsdale, Arizona. But Marianne, you're also the VP of Marketing at Sneaky Big's sister company, PXG Golf, and a great Acumatica customer. So welcome. Tell us about Sneaky Big.
Thanks, John. It's great to be here. Sneaky Big Studios is the most advanced, most technologically advanced production and post-production facility in the Southwest. We're lucky to have 3 sound stages, whether it be an insert stage, this 4,000 square foot area where we are now, up to a 12,000 square foot stage. And we can also support our clients off-site on location. We can offer voiceover recordings, live shoots, commercials, corporate video productions, but our real sweet spot is what you see here today, virtual reality productions.
Well, that's so cool. And the Acumatica team has loved working with Sneaky Big on this. Why don't you tell our audience a bit more about some of the other productions that Sneaky Big's been involved with?
Well, first of all, we love Acumatica too. We are fortunate to work with some amazing clients on some really interesting projects. 2 that come to mind. We produced the Real Screen Award Show recently, where we brought the glitz and glamour of Hollywood to life in a virtual reality setting, also using augmented reality, where we showcased the nominees and the winners. We also worked recently with NABC, where we were able to create a virtual set that was in real scale to an actual arena. Something that was pretty cool, very amazing.
Well, the technology is unbelievable. And can you tell our audience a little bit about how you record in virtual reality?
Yeah, absolutely. So once we know what our clients are looking for, we start to draw sketches to conceptualize and visualize the design. Next, we begin modeling and UV mapping in our 3D modeling software. We take those designs and we begin creating wireframes for the virtual set. Once those wireframes are approved, we then go into something called Unreal. This is where the virtual set is actually created. It's also where the color, texture, lighting of the set is finalized. While in Unreal, the lighting is baked to render the real-time final image. Finally, we use the Infinity Set software to combine the virtual set built in Unreal with video inputs, camera inputs, and tracking data. This tracking technology is what allows people to move seamlessly within the virtual environment.
Well, it's amazing. A lot of technology going on. Really, really cool stuff. Any final thoughts?
Well, thank you for thinking of us here at Sneaky Big. We love Acumatica, and we love everything we do. So we hope that folks think of us for all of their projects in the future, whether they be small or big. We are your go-to partner.
Well, it's awesome. And I think we'll be back. Thank you, Marianne, for joining us today here in this incredible set. And thanks to the whole Sneaky Big team, because it takes a team to make this happen.
Thank you, John.
So we had some great demos of 2021 R2. It's a great release, and we're so excited about the new user experience, the new features like cross-sell, upsell in the distribution module, and one of my favorites, the visual scheduling inside Manufacturing Edition. We got to hear about how Acumatica customer PXG Golf is using it, and some of the new control and business capabilities that they've acquired through Acumatica and applying that to PXG Golf. The next time I'll see many of you will be at the Acumatica Summit 2022 in January in Las Vegas at the Wynn Casino and Resort. So please join me there if you can. Immediately following this, you're going to have 5 industry breakout sessions going across each of the industry editions. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us for the 2021 R2 launch today. Thank you for your commitment to Acumatica, and most of all, thank you for your trust.